Node alert. Node alert.
Who saw the Star Trek Beyond trailer?
I haven't seen it
I
yet.
haven't seen it. It wasn't on our Star Wars.
I saw
Okay.
it, but I honestly, like, they had so many good trailers on there. I can't even, like, I know that Simon Pegg's in it. I'm always on board with Simon
It's almost
Pegg.
like the director sabotaged the trailer.
A little bit. Well, I mean,
Beastie Boys, it was good.
no. Topher said the whole time he saw that, he was thinking about the music video
Yeah.
for Beastie Boys. But, yeah, just, like,
I
nothing
need
from
to see
it
this.
really, for me, it didn't feel like it, like, stuck out the way that the other movie trailers had.
Yeah, no, it felt like they were trying to do a Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy is not Star
Chris
Trek.
Pratt is not in it, so you can't.
There's a different Chris.
Can't ever do it.
Yeah, yeah. Star Trek is supposed to be asking these questions, but dealing with it by having the crew go to a different planet and sort of dealing with a different issue, and it's usually some social issue of the time. And the new Star Trek movies haven't done that. Like they were turned into Star Wars movies basically. Like they were turned into fun movies.
Yeah, although they do still deal with Spock that way, just like they did in the show too, about him, not really relating to human emotions and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. And I think the best sci-fi touchstone would be Data in Next Generation, or Seven of Nine, who was in Star Trek Voyager. I don't know if you guys ever saw Star Trek Voyager.
No, I didn't.
But Seven of Nine was basically a reformed Borg.
Oh,
So she was brought back in, and she just did not experience the world the way everybody else did.
Yeah,
she was trying to understand.
She became a Borg when she was like 5 or 8 years old.
Yeah, five or something old, and she all she had was that number. Like she was a number for the Borg, so she was 7 of 9 of her crew. And she was a really interesting character, and it really like having a character who's an outsider like that and trying to become human again. It also allows for us to take a look at ourselves and really ask questions as why we behave the way we do, like what little weird things that we do. Like, well, why do you do that thing? Like that's an odd custom. Like that doesn't make a lot of sense. And there's a lot of stuff that we do as humans that's just kind of weird. That science fiction movies kind of poke fun at and sort of point out, like, you do realize that this is just kind of idiosyncratic and odd, right? Yeah. Like it doesn't make any sense why you do this.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually what I felt like the Transformers movies were missing. Like those would have been good movies if they actually took time to make them science fiction movies and not just robots fighting robots.
Or not only that, but the human interactions in those movies killed them for me. Like I hated any time that Megan Fox is on screen. I'm just like, you are obviously there for one reason, to pull like the male demographic, the like young male demographic for what you look like, and that's not what the Transformers are. She was just a total waste of time.
Yeah,
the
Michael
whole love
Bay
story
is
was.
Michael Bay is a misogynist, and I fucking hate Michael Bay.
And that's why she wouldn't do the other movies, was the way he treated her.
He treats women like props.
When she was first introduced, I think it was the first one. I don't remember because I've only seen those each once.
Leaned up against a car.
When
I remember that vividly.
she's basically on top. I bet you did. She was on top of a motorcycle, like fixing
That's the
it
second one,
in
yeah.
the most awkward way possible, like, and perched, and it was
She was
panning
just-
around her.
They just wanted to make sure that you could see her ovaries.
Yeah, I saw them. It was nice, but no, I just was just like that whole time. My eyes were rolling in the back of my head. Were like I thought I would never come back again. Like I was never going to see it again.
They actually rolled all the way back around.
Yeah, it was like a
The
full
Exorcist.
loop. Yeah, Exorcist style. I was vomiting everywhere.
It felt like a Carl's Jr. commercial.
I know. I fucking hate
Like
Carl's
that
Jr.'s
moment, like
commercials.
seriously, it just like her just like leaned over the hood of this, old classic car, seductively fixing it.
Makes
It's
sense.
such a fucking Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about Carl's Jr. commercials right now. Like
I fucking
so
hate
much
Carl's Jr.
anger
commercials.
when they
So
come on.
anti-sci-fi.
So not sci-fi.
Is this a feminist podcast?
Those Carl's
I
Jr.
like
burgers
science
need some microchips.
No, that's why I love it.
Like Ex Machina.
Like Ex Machina. Ex Machina is... Maren, tell us about Ex Machina. I'm sure you've seen it more than once.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically this guy creates this AI and in the form of a woman, and then he hires someone to test her and see if she passes I forgot what it's called, but
Yeah,
Turing Test.
that test to see if she passes as artificial intelligence, if she can actually make you think that she is sentient. And it's very, I don't want to give away any details.
It's quite a battle of wills.
Yeah.
It's a very intense movie and disturbing.
Very disturbing. Really interesting. It is, there are a lot of feminist elements of it shows a woman basically in captivity. She is created. She's a created person, but there are all those feminist ideas in there of her being in captivity and being treated like, not a person.
Like a toy.
Yeah, like a toy, exactly.
Yeah. So let's look at.
It makes me think of Blade Runner, though, with the the way that the robots or androids, I don't remember, it's been so long since I've read and or seen it.
Replicants.
Thank you.
And how they're basically tested, and the way that they react to like situations, like they're being told a story, and how they don't know how to react. From what I remember,
it's trying to find out if they have empathy,
right?
And the idea is that they're not old enough to have learned or understand what empathy is because they're essentially children, and because they're engineered to only live 6 years.
I think it's 4 years.
4 years, yeah. Thank you.
I like what you.
Sorry, it's my.
I like
favorite.
what you know.
That's
Don't be
fine.
sorry. It makes
this
me
is
smile.
good.
It's my favorite
You could be
sci-fi
you could be a
film.
nerd about it. That's fine. Oh, you are aware that the sequel's coming out, right?
Oh, I remember hearing about that. I
Yes.
haven't read
Was
about
there a
it. Though.
sequel?
It is directed
to
by Dennis Villeneuve, the guy that did Sicario and Enemy and Prisoners.
There's no book though.
That's okay.
Okay.
But Ryan Gosling is the main
Okay.
actor.
You brought me back
sold.
again. You brought me back again. All right.
Sold.
If you're interested in reading the book about Blade Runner, what was it called?
Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Yeah.
Do Andrew Learn Electric
Philip K.
Sheep?
Dick.
They also have the novelized version of the movie, which is different.
Read Philip K. Dick, everything he's ever written. He's my favorite
And
science
there's
fiction
the
author.
graphic novel adaptation of it. Yeah.
Oh,
Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep.
Which is super
that'd be
cool.
great.
Yeah.
There's most of great science fiction is in books. I think everyone here has read Ender's Game.
Yes.
Yes.
I haven't actually.
Okay. Ender's Game is about
Get out of your own house.
Bye.
Ender's Game is about the government sort of taking and using young children to wage their wars for them. So it's basically about them sort of losing their humanity at an early age and sort of losing their childhood. And the first one is a lot about xenophobia, and it's about people treating people different because they're treating people bad because they're different. Ender, the main character, is the youngest person in battle school, and so because he's younger and smarter than other people, he's treated terribly and he's bullied. And it's really a great analogy for just young nerds sort of growing up and having to dealing with being bullied because they're different than other people. In the end, you find out that the book is about something completely different.
I was afraid you were going to say what happened. Like, don't do it.
It's about something completely different, but it deals with xenophobia in such a great way. It's really disappointing to know that Orson Scott Card is a fucking bigot.
It's just best not to even think about that because it hurts me.
And it's as if he doesn't actually understand the books he's writing, because the subtext of his books is so not how he actually feels. And that's fucking weird.
But he can write that.
He is such a conflicted, fucked up person that he can write a book that's as compelling and as good as that book series and not believe a fucking word that he wrote.
Although
it's crazy.
I do find that not completely surprising. To get into more of a like culture studies or philosophical discussion, a lot of people, part of any sort of minority, might also be bigots towards another minority because our society sort of trains us to look at other people that are different instead of looking at the big picture, like patriarchy or our society in general that is actually causing us to pit each other against each other. The actual bigger issue is overlooked.
Yeah, we actually talked about that in the I think the 8th episode of Four Letter Nerds. We talked about the rise of nerd culture and that was sort of brought up that Brittany was saying that she was hoping that there'd be a point where there isn't a point where people just stop sort of treating people as less than and treating them as you know that we're all similar. And I was like, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because people are genuinely just more likely to want to feel superior or feel like they are a part of something. And so whenever they feel like they're a part of something, they tend to exclude other people and other things. And it's just it has to do with the tribal nature of people in general. And I think that's a flaw in human nature that that we'll always be fighting and trying to overcome. And I hope we can.
Yeah, we need to fit people into categories. If we don't understand what they do and why they do it for the reasons that we do it, then they're obviously doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Speaker for the Dead, which is in the Orson Scott Card series.
Second book.
The second one, which is actually, I read that before Under Shadow.
Yes.
And that book was like a game changer for me. I haven't reread it in years, and I've been really wanting to so I can like re-experience it. But it made me reevaluate my understanding of what we see in our universe, our understanding of everything from A to Z, of like the way we exist, why we grow the way we do, what we can learn from our world is because of I don't want to give anything away with the story.
Well, it's basically
What's
us
available to us.
watching another culture from the outside and not understanding what they're doing.
Right.
And not understanding that what they're doing is best for them and what they believe in, and us looking at it from the perspective of what we know and not what not what they know.
Exactly. Yeah, like we don't their culture, their society doesn't fit into our mold. So something is wrong with their culture versus being like, no, that's the way that they grew. That's their understanding of existence. They don't fit into ours, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just the way it is.